But let's give the bill its due, all right? This is Mike Johnson talking about some of the good things in the bill, 274.
We're repealing and rolling back over $500 billion in funding for the radical Green New Deal policies from Biden's so-called Inflation Reduction Act. We call it the Inflation Act. We're ending Biden's war on American energy. We're banning Medicaid dollars from going to transgender surgeries for minors. We're canceling Biden's student loan repayment program. We're increasing university endowment tax for these big woke institutions. We're revoking tax-exempt status for nonprofits that materially support terrorism. We're doubling the jail time for leaks of confidential taxpayer information. We're eliminating big businesses' ability to engage in woke PR campaigns to facilitate refundability for green energy projects. We're incentivizing federal workforce to be at-will employees, and we're repealing Biden's disastrous EV mandate.
So let's give it its due. This bill is beautiful. There is a lot of big beautifulness in this bill. We like this bill. Directionally, this bill is great, okay? What we're talking about is fighting over the edges, but those edges can have massive implications, especially when it comes to Medicaid, pardon me. Medicaid, the Medicaid scam that some of these states pull is incredible. Now, we're getting rid of these able-bodied subsidies, right? So if somebody's able to work and they're not working and we're still funding them, this is the #1 area of expansion of the federal budget, and nobody is seriously trying to fight this except for these 4 holdouts. So my sympathies lie with them, genuinely. And I want to hear from Rep. Andy Harris here, 272.
Bottom line is, if we don't get significant spending reduction, this bill is not going anywhere this week. We were warning about it in the Freedom Caucus for really years, that we have to get our debt and deficit in order. They're whistling past the graveyard. It's like that never happened. But it did happen, and we have to get back to pre-COVID spending levels wherever we can. We certainly can with Medicaid, because the fraud, waste, and abuse, the gaming of the system, the giving benefits to 2.5 million illegal immigrants. I mean, this is ridiculous. It has to stop. We have a long way to go. We don't get there by Wednesday, and the word is they want to have this vote Wednesday. There's just no way it's passing on Wednesday.
He continues. 273.
This is the graph of what the Republican plan is for Medicaid spending over the next 10 years. This assumes that we actually get all the able-bodied single people without children on Medicaid to agree to work 20 hours a week or volunteer at a church or train. And if we eliminate all the fraud, waste, and abuse, and there's plenty of it, we're left with at least a 25% increase in Medicaid over the next 10 years from the current spending level. Only in Washington could anyone claim that's a cut.
So that was obviously from the House floor. Now, there is a scam here where, and people, it's wonky. I don't want to get too into the weeds, but it's called FMAP. It's the federal. I'll get the acronym for you in a second. It's the Federal Medical Assistance Percentage. So basically, it's a mean-tested program, meaning that the poorer states get more federal matching dollars than the rich states. But what the states do, and this is one of Chip Roy's big problems, is that they charge a provider tax on it. So if we send $10,000 to California, they'll bump it up by 5%. And then there's little carve-outs, and then they take that money and they fund Medi-Cal, and they give it to illegals or different things, or Planned Parenthood. That stuff needs to stop, and Chip Roy's 100% right on that. So where we stand right now on the big, beautiful bill, Chip Roy's probably a no. All the SALT guys, that would be Stefanik, Garbarino, Lawler, Lalota, Young Kim, Tom King Jr., Langworthy. Those guys are all probably a no, because they're going to hold fast in their coalition for these SALT exemptions. Now, again, I think that horse ain't going to hunt. They've already gotten a concession, maybe albeit a small one. That's what you're going to get. When it goes to the Senate, that's not going to pass. And a no for now. These are people that I believe will support the bill. They're speaking in such a way that says that they are going to support the bill, but they want to hold out for some additional tweaks. And again, Trump has said he's open to tweaks. He wants tweaks, but he wants this to pass, and he wants to pass soon. That's Ralph Norman, Eli Crane, the great Eli Crane from Arizona, Rich McCormick, Eric Burleson, Mark Harris, Andrew Clyde, Tim Burchett, Keith Self, Warren Davidson, Andy Biggs, Andy Harris, Andy Ogles. Now, these are a lot of the Freedom Caucus guy, the budget hawks. Trump said in his presser this morning, he said, lay off my Freedom Caucus guy. Those are my people. So there's no beef there. Now Thomas Massie and Trump, that relationship is basically done. Trump is saying he wants Thomas Massie out. He doesn't understand government. Thomas Massie's an always no. There's nothing I can do to win their vote. Okay. Well, that's one. We don't have much more to give than that. All right. And we were going to have Chip Roy on this morning. Unfortunately, schedules, everything's going crazy, but he was scheduled to be on right now explaining some of his holdouts, some of his reservations. But I think he's making some good points that we have to stop the expansion of this Medicaid graft and spending and abuse. Illegals have no place on Medicaid. We need to get them all off. I think everybody's united on that. We have to stop this FMAP stuff where we're paying way too much to the states and we're incentivizing them to expand the amount of spending in this way. So all in all, there's a lot to love in this bill. It is 95% of the way there, maybe 98% of the way there, but the devil is in the details. These last 2% are important fixes. I do want to see them get fixed, and hopefully we see some progress on them.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.